Greetings. Welcome back to Ghana Gamers. We're a family of gamers in Ghana that love comics and anime. Today we're going to show y'all Vampire Hunter D. This is a cult favorite anime character introduced way back in the 80s and was one of my first anime characters I was introduced to. He has changed his looks over the years, but it's the same concept character. Now, as always, we bring comic and anime characters to the gaming space. And the game that we've been working on is Elder Scrolls Online. And we'll show you over the coming months many characters in this game. But our first up is Vampire Hunter D. Now, Elder Scrolls Online is a very popular MMO that's on consoles and the PC. It has over 15 million players, 18 million now, actually, by the time of this recording, and it's well populated and it's been well received. You can PvP, you can PvE, which is player versus player or player versus environment, and you can pretty much do anything. There's people who role play around here and do all kinds of crazy stuff. Now, our household, we pretty much just hack and slash with it. We just kill. We're into PvP, and we do some PvE, but most of it is so that we can PvP. And I've just been recently getting into the PvE, and it's enjoyable. It absolutely is. But as you can see, I've translated the Vampire Hunter D character into the gaming space here. Now you have the typical look of him, his large two-handed sword with the wide hilt. You have his large brim hat. Now they don't have cloaks in the game, or at least not yet anyway, so nothing I could do about that. But we'll get into his looks later so you can see the various looks of Vampire Hunter D and what we try to accomplish in this game. So this character needs to be, at first and foremost, a vampire hunter, vampire and werewolf hunter. His title, actually, I have for him is Monster Hunter, right? He kills all layers of monsters. This character was something that really revolutionized anime for America anyway, at least in my life. Because back when I was growing up, anime was like Robotech, you know what I'm saying? And you may have saw Transformers, you saw Japanese people were animating that, and Thundercats and things like that. But before that, we never seen anything like this. My very first anime was actually Fist of the North Star. We'll get to that another time. But this was my second one. Now, both of those came out in the 80s, but I wasn't exposed to them until the early 90s, in my young teenage years. And I was blown away by just the visceral brutality of anime. I had no idea that Japanese cartoons got down like that. I was used to, G.I. Joe, they shoot a million laser beams at you and nobody got hit. These felt real, with real consequences. When somebody got slashed, shorty was dead, right? So it definitely opened my eyes to the world of anime. And this character you see here, Vampire Hunter D, we have translated it well onto the screen. So buffed up, anybody who knows this game, you have stats, right? You have resistances, offense, and defensive powers. So buffed up, he has about 5,400 weapon damage. Now that's without his any of his procs going, anything going on. He gets over 6K, but standing he's about 5,400. His weapon penetration is around 10,000. Now it only shows 7,000 here because that's just the bug they had where it doesn't show your sharpen trait sometimes on the weapon. Anybody who plays the game know, but he has 10,000 weapon penetration. Now penetration is so that you can cut through someone's armor. Our boy D here actually has an armor of about 20K. Buffed up is 26K, which is closer to cap. This is how Vampire Hunter D's looked over the years. And the first outfit I'm showing you here is the one from the 80s, 86 D. Now, as you can see, it closely resembles that first outfit, or the one from 86. Again, they don't have cloaks, so it's really hard to really match up how he looked in that anime. But when you look at the one on the left, it's pretty close. The one on the right, however, is the one that I use most of the time. That's the next outfit. That's this one. This is the one from the 2000s. This is from Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. And this is my favorite one, with the medallion and the skull belt buckle and, all that. D is a duelist, okay? He's a hunter of all things unnatural. He kills anything that don't belong in the world. And people who play werewolves or vampires are particularly my prey. And we're going to get into PvP so you can see how he really functions in that space. But I just wanted people to know that that's how this build was designed around that. And this is a typical match for me for PvP. That's what it looks like. As you see, I'm flexing Dawnbreaker, which kills werewolves and vampires 20% more than it does anybody else, but it hurts overall anyway. Huge dot. And my strategy is very simple. I charge in, I fear bomb you, and I start to cleaving. So my charge basically dots you up, and we'll show you from the gear where we're getting all our dots from. My charge dots you up naturally. My cleave adds another 3 dots to you. And then my Dawnbreaker, or DB, actually dots you and knocks you down as well. So if the fear don't get you, the Dawnbreaker will stun you, right? And it's very hard to deal with in an open space. And the skills we have reflect his abilities that he displays in the anime. He's a weapon specialist, he does a whole bunch of things, but he primarily focuses on two-handed swords. This is how he dispatches his enemies. He cleaves them until they die, all right? He has tremendous speed, superhuman speed, unnatural. He's like I said, like Blade from Marvel, right? He's half vampire, half human. And that's what I use him as a Nightblade for, so that I can use Cloak and I can disappear to kind of simulate that speed. He's there 1 minute, he's gone the next. And I don't care if you be a Templar, I don't care if you're a Dragon Knight, I don't care what you are. You're gonna get these hands. He comes up on you, fears, cleaves, executes. Very, very simple. And some people may watch this and wonder why I'm not using the two-handed execute. It's simply so I can have the 10% crit damage increase from the assassin line, because I had nowhere else to put it. You can only put 5 abilities on your bar plus an ultimate. I needed Dawnbreaker to make sure that I killed all of the werewolves and vampires without a doubt. I couldn't have them survive anything. And I also needed to make sure that I had an extra stun just in case my fear didn't get you. So as you can see in this match, these are all decent level players, all high level players. Doesn't matter what you are. If you're 500, if you're 1800, you're 2000, I treat everybody the same. And like I'm not like the best player or anything like that, or even like a great player or anything, but the build is very simple, it's very straightforward, and it does its job. So again, most people have their back to me because they're running, just because the upfront damage is so nasty. It's so nasty. And we'll show you how we're getting this upfront damage from our gear sets at the end of the video. But I just wanted to showcase and let everybody see how this character flexes around, how he moves around. Everything before him is dropped. That's a werewolf right there, dropping in fears and all that stuff. Doesn't matter to me. Again, I'm there to hunt werewolves, so I'm actually happy to see him. And one of the most famous sets they have in the game right now for PvP is Plague Break. As you can see, it puts dots on you. It's a very nasty dot set. Hurts bad. Hurts real bad. I'm able to, with his regeneration, push through it because that's one of the character's traits. Vampire Hunter D regenerates extremely well. Now, vampires don't regenerate well at all in this game, but this build allows me to emulate that regeneration of the anime. So that guy right there, he had me hurt, backed up off of him, went back in on him. Boom, he's gone. Necros, werewolves, vampires, all of them. It's all the same. So right there, I'm 15-1. As you can see off the map, nobody else is really doing anything. I'm the dominant force out in the field in this particular match, right? Because of the simplicity of the rotation and the gear sets allows me to do that. So that even if you are a middling or mediocre player like myself, you can still achieve some level of success. Again, look at that Plague Break, constantly up. His Plague Break, however, is not going to match all the bleeds I'm putting on that edge. It's not going to work. So it hurts, but mine hurts more. They got me again. Now, you'll see how I'm using the gear sets to actually feed into the whole regeneration thing. This comes from the Vault of Madness set that I'm using that you get. It's called the Oblivion set. As you can see it right here, we have a screenshot of it right here. The 5-piece of it gives you a huge heal anytime you kill anything, and it gives you about 600 weapon damage. So it's a ton of upfront damage plus a heal anytime anything dies. That's what that little blue glow is every time I kill something that comes up. It's me getting healed from that. And it fills a soul gem, which I need soul gems to be filled so I can make me some money, because I'm poor out here. The other set I'm using is the one from Castle Thorn. It's the medium armor set from Castle Thorn. This one applies a huge bleed over time, damage over time, anytime you charge. As you see, charge is a staple point of my build. So there it is right there, a little screenshot of it. So I charge you, you're getting bled. I cleave you 3 times, you're getting more bled. Dawnbreaker, you get another damage over time. So the dots are pretty much killing you, and I'm just finishing you off, if that makes sense. I'm using other abilities from the darkness tree, like that one right there, which is the Shadow Heal, which simulates his hand ability. Because Vampire Hunter D, in his left hand, he has this little face that does a whole bunch of nasty stuff. It sucks in all kinds of stuff. It heals. It does all kinds of stuff for him. And I use the darkness tree to simulate that. So I get speed out of that. I get a really good heal out of that since they buffed up the heal to Shadow. And again, that's what we're bringing to the table here. We like to bring characters that not only look very similar to their anime counterparts, but also play very similar to the anime counterparts. So as you see right here, like I said, I'm at 21 kills, and it's pretty much just me, which is no problem. I don't have a problem with that. And I'm still able to be effective, even against a team. I've become the threat, and they focus, which I enjoy. I'm fine with that. And as promised, at the end of this video here, we're going to show you our gear. So this is the character here, buffed up. As you see, the bug is gone, or whatever. It's 10k spell and weapon penetration. And the gear sets I'm using here are the ones from both Castle Thorn and from Vault of Madness. Both of these are conducive to that Vampire D lifestyle. So the Unleashed, as you see with the tooltip here, it does 11,000 bleed damage from a charge, right? It gives you 2 lines of stamina, a line of weapon damage, and over 11,000 damage from a charge. And it applies Minor Maim, which basically shortens your opponent's health bar. The Oblivion Edge set gives you a 14,000 heal when it ends, in addition to the almost 600 weapon damage that it gives you. So again, this really, really helps you feed into this whole regeneration type of thing. Because as you saw, my stats regeneration, health recovery over 1,500. That's huge, especially when I'm healing myself every time that I kill something with 15k. So he's unkillable if he's in a fight, really. He has crazy resistances, like over 26k resistance. And when your resistance cap is 33k, he's like, what, 7k below that. So thank you for your time. This is Vampire Hunter D, and we will see you out on them streets.